Hello, everyone. Great to be with you all today. I hope you are doing well wherever you may be. I wanted to take some time to talk with you about recent developments in the vaccinations for coronavirus. My name is Emmanuel Ngwakomri. I'm a data scientist and independent consultant. I like to take some time out of my busy schedule to research useful information and share with you that could help you in decision making on various aspects of daily life. For today, I'm talking about the coronavirus. So, before I actually go ahead, I would like to invite you, if you're new to this channel, please kindly subscribe. That's the way you help the channel grow. If you have been riding with me, I urge you to hit the like button for this video and the notification bell so that you do not miss any content that we put out there. So what is new today? Actually, the big news today, Wednesday, March 31st, 2021, is a press release by Pfizer and their collaborator BioNTech on COVID vaccination, coronavirus vaccine. So today, Pfizer released information regarding a clinical trial that they've been conducting, and they have some really excellent results. You may want to stay tuned for the content because it will help you in decision making as in the future you may want to decide whether your adolescents take this vaccine or not. Of course, we know that there are various vaccines out there: Johnson and Johnson, AstraZeneca, Moderna. But what Pfizer and BioNTech are really doing here is that they've gone ahead and conducted some trials of their COVID-19 vaccine on adolescents, children between the ages of 12 and 15 years. So, what is the main heading? The big news is that they found the COVID-19 vaccine to be safe and 100% effective in preventing children between the ages of 12 and 15 from contracting the coronavirus. So let us break this down a little bit for your understanding, because the information being in a press release is limited, but it has some weight because the results are really significant. So this was a placebo trial, placebo-controlled trial. In simple terms, this means that some participants were given the coronavirus vaccine, and some that we call controls were given a fake dose of the vaccine or any other drug. That's what we refer to as a placebo. So in reality, there were 2,260 adolescents that received the coronavirus vaccine, and there were 18 that received the placebo. So after having followed these participants to the clinical trial, they came up with the result that none of those that received the coronavirus vaccine contracted coronavirus. On the other side, those in the placebo group, the control group, the 18 all contracted the coronavirus. So this is where they came up with the 100% effectiveness of the vaccine in preventing the transmission of the virus. So from this result, what can we learn? There are some specific things that stand out in the press release. One of them is that the vaccine was well tolerated by the adolescents. So what does this mean? This is very important, because we know that during the phases in the process of developing drugs or clinical trials, there is usually, during phase one, there is usually the goal of determining the dose that is tolerated by the human body. We refer to this as maximum tolerable dose. I covered this in some of my previous videos when I talked about the phases of clinical trials. So I'm not going to go into it right now, but what is important is that we know that when the vaccine was being developed, as it was aimed towards adult, the maximum tolerable dose was measured against adults. So during this trial, when they determined that the adolescents were able to tolerate this dose, makes it a key ingredient um, of the vaccine being accepted, in addition to the effectiveness. So that is one key thing from the press release, the vaccine being tolerated. Another thing is the fact that in terms of side effects, they referred to the fact that the side effects were similar. The side effects amongst the adolescents in this trial were similar to what was observed amongst teens and younger adults in the original trials. So this is very important, nothing new. As long as similarity in side effects, um, and the dose being tolerable, um, as well as having them not contract the virus, brought them to the conclusion that this vaccine is good to go for adolescents. So, what are the implications? The implication of this result is that they are going to now file an update with the United States Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, that is the body that regulates um, the commercialization of drugs and vaccines in the United States, and to an extent globally. So they are going to file an update to the FDA with this data. So what will happen when this is done is that it will not go through the rigorous process of review and approvals as the original vaccine was, but it's simply an update. Of course, FDA will still have to scrutinize the data and come out with um, equally have an update of their emergency use authorization for the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer and BioNTech. So that is the first implication. Another implication has to do with ending the pandemic. You know, so far the vaccination is ongoing in the various countries. We know that vaccination coverage right now is a little bit limited. Some countries are doing better than others. Uh, but one of the things that we equally notice is that vaccination has been mostly amongst, uh, I would say, vulnerable populations in most countries, the elderly, and also they started with frontline workers, which makes sense. Those are those that are most exposed. So the limited coverage, as well as focus on specific workforce and age group, means that there's a long way to go. This finding by Pfizer now puts in place the option to start vaccinating children in the long run. And actually, Pfizer anticipates that children will likely be vaccinated before the beginning of the next academic year. So, this is great. With the involvement of children, uh, that means that schools are likely to open where they have still shut down at the moment. It means that the children contracting the virus and spreading to others is likely to be limited. So this is a very very big this is a huge finding. Of course, it's the age group 18 to 15. We know that the lower age group were not involved. But what is envisaged? A few days ago, Pfizer equally announced a global study whereby they would recruit over 4,500 children within the ages of 6 months to 11 months and up for a global study to equally conduct a trial on this vaccine. So that means there is hope ahead. We'll be looking forward to reviewing the results of that next trial and sharing that information with you So I can only we can only be positive as we look forward to that. Of course, other companies, Johnson and Johnson, looking to test their vaccine amongst children as well. So it's all positive. So let us talk about. It's worth mentioning the limitations of the press release. I know there are a lot there is a lot that is in a study, but what I present to you here is simply a summary from a press release, which is limited. Of course, a press release is a summary for the purpose for which it is intended. But we know that the press release, for the purpose of understanding, providing a better understanding of the study and so on and so forth. We could not give you a lot of details right now, but we're looking forward to the study when it is published after having gone through review by other scientists. But what I can say right now is that the press release does not contain information um, about details about the study, how participants were recruited, characteristics of those participants, and so on and so forth. But at least it did carry the key finding, which was about the study groups and the results that were obtained from that study. So I hope that um, as the Pfizer vaccine is being adopted and administered wherever you may be, if you have to make decisions around whether your children within this age group should take this vaccine, this kind of information will help you in making that decision while we wait for the approval from the FDA. So I thought I'd bring this update to you. I hope you find this useful. Um, it is very important because there is a lot of misinformation out there around this virus and the vaccines. So it's important that we continuously update our communities on what is happening. So when you hear that by the start of the school year 2021, that children are being uh, 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 vaccinated, the question that should come to mind if you are not already informed is to get informed about the approval from the FDA of this vaccine and of course others. Meanwhile, for the age group 6 months to 11 years, as I mentioned, the recruitment that will be ongoing is regarding a global study, and so um, and so we do not envisage any vaccinations in the communities right now for this age group. If you are being approached for vaccination to vaccinate your children within this age group 6 months to 11 years, you should clarify if this kind of request has to do with the global study or it is uh, vaccination that is being rolled out after that study had been completed and gone through the approval process. So this is just an update I wanted to give you. I'll be bringing more information around these vaccines and so on and so forth. So please, again, I'll say that if you've not already subscribed to this channel, you can help us hitting the subscribe button, like this video, and share. When you share, you're disseminating a lot of information. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to talk to you again wherever you may be. Bye-bye.